Okay, so welcome to our mindfulness directed to body meditation session. I'll give you a little introduction, and we will have a chanting in Pali where we have all the 32 constituents of the body in Pali, and I'll read out the translation, then we can go to the kind of reflective contemplation on this meditation. So this is called Kāyagatāsati meditation. So Kaya means the body, and Gatāsati means the mindfulness directed so to the body. And this also have a different word. The same meditation is described in another word, which is Asubha Bhavana. So Asubha is the negation of Subha. Subha means beautiful and attractive, but when it becomes Asubha, it is not beautiful and not attractive. So we are really going to kind of contemplate on the fact that body being not beautiful. It is because this meditation was originally kind of recommended for monastics, because they just put robes on them, but they have a vow not to get kind of engaged in any sexual activity, even though they have that vow. But that is one of the kind of biggest forces that they are dealing with, even though they are ordained, because this is going to bother you all the time. So you try to get some meditation done because you also have the expectations to kind of walk on the path to the liberation. So while you are trying to get some meditation done, so you are really bothered with sensual desire, sensual lust, especially the sexual lust. Then Buddha recommended you have to take this meditation. This will help you to kind of diminish or kind of reduce the sensual lust that you are dealing with. So that's why we are doing this meditation not in a moral sense, but in an aesthetic sense. We are focusing on the not beautiful nature of the body. So normally our mind has this kind of innate attitude to see a body being beautiful at the first glance. So you look at someone's body, and from the outer appearance you kind of see it being beautiful. But in this meditation, what we are going to do is we kind of try to examine into, probing into our body, piercing through the skin, and then try to see what it really looks like. So as you take this meditation, then you will start to realize it is unlike the superficial view that we have on our body. This is totally different, because this composite body, the whole body with all these constituents together, gives you a kind of beautiful kind of sense. But when you take all the parts of the body one by one, so in isolation, then you start to see there is hair, and there is these tissues, and there are these fluids, and there are these muscles. So when they are in isolation, so you can't really see the beauty that you originally kind of saw in a composite body. So this is kind of a deconstructive approach to this physical body. So this has a lot of benefits, because living in this American society, you might have experienced that people kind of bear some discriminative idea based on the physical beauty. So normally the white people think that they are the most beautiful, and the black people think black is the most beautiful, brown people think the brown is the most beautiful, and Asian people might think that the Asian features are the most beautiful. So there is this discrimination kind of based on the physical beauty. But when you really see your bodily constituents in this meditation, you kind of come to the realization that it's just a difference in the pigmentation of the skin. Everything else is the same. We all have the same organs, same tissues, and same fluids, and so on. So that way, if anyone kind of have the conceit that I am handsome, I am beautiful, so that person taking this meditation, he gives up that idea because he doesn't find any ground for that conceit, I am beautiful, to take root. And also there are people who already think about their body negatively. I am ugly, I am not that beautiful, I am not that attractive. And those people taking this meditation see that everyone else kind of has the same features that I have. So they just get rid of that self kind of degradation, right? So self-condemnation. So that way everyone, people who are thinking highly about their physical beauty and people already think negatively about their body, they come to a common ground where they think that we all are the same. So that way we can just kind of remove the discriminative ideas that we sometimes bear in our mind. So as you really see that we all are the same, so this meditation kind of gives rise to some compassion, the virtues like compassion and loving kindness to be cultivated, because you see, you can identify with everyone. You are one of the other people, we all have the same human nature and same physical structure. So those are the benefits. So as we move forward, we will learn more about this, and this is going to be a reflective contemplation, like the meditation on loving kindness. So we will bring a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas to reflect on, just to reinforce this idea, on our mind. So we will have sort of transformative impact in our life as we move forward. So I'm going to chant in Pali and then read out the meaning, so then we can take the meditation after that. Athimasmin kāye kesa loma nakha danta tacho mansang naharu athi mijja vakkang hadayang yakanang kilomakang pihakang pappasang Antang antagunang udariyang karisang mattalungang pittang semhang pubbo lohitang sedo medo assuvasakelo singhanika lasika muttanti. In this body, there are hairs of the head, hairs of the body, nails, teeth, skin. There are fleshy muscles, sinews, bones, bone marrow, kidneys, heart, liver, diaphragm, spleen, lungs, intestines, mesentery, stomach, feces, brain, bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat and fatty oils, tears, grease of the skin, saliva, nasal mucus, fluid of the joints, and urine. Just as if a sack with openings at both ends were full of various kind of grains, wheat, rice, mung beans, kidney beans, sesame seeds, husked rice, and a man with good eyesight pouring it out were to reflect, this is wheat, this is rice, these are mung beans, these are kidney beans, these are sesame seeds, this is husked rice. In the same way, one reflect on this very body, from the soles of the feet on up, from the crown of the head on down, surrounded by skin and full of various kind of unpleasant things. On that occasion, one abides contemplating the body as body, ardent, fully aware, and mindful, having put away covetousness and grief for the world. So the same way that person with a good eyesight looks at that sack with full of grain, so we are going to look at our body from the soles of the feet on up, and from the crown of the head on down. So this fathom long body, having all those 32 constituents, so taking one by one, we are going to see as they are, not differently. So we learned that this body, when you superficially look at it, gives a sense of being beautiful. But when you look at this body with your mind's eye, with the microscope of your mind's eye, then you will realize this body is not that beautiful. So this way we try to see that there is no place in this body that we can get attached to. So sometimes we grasp on to the perception of body as being beautiful, and we project it onto someone else's body, and that inflames lust. So that is with unwise attention. So we are going to look at this body with wise attention, with thorough attention, systematically and methodically, going from head to toes. So there are several groups that those 32 constituents have been categorized into. So let us take the first group. In this body, there are hairs of the head. So with your mind's eye, you can think about different types of hair, which is a part of this body. When the hair attached to someone's body, at the first glance, you will see there is a beauty. And some people also make comments like, You have beautiful hair. But when you take a look at it, when it is in isolation as an individual part, you don't really see that beauty. And you can think of different types: straight hair, curl hair, and black and other different colors, and all those turning gray when getting old. So this hair, even though it gives a sense of beauty at some point, it has that intrinsic nature of non-attractiveness. We just reflect on that and try to understand just the outer appearance of the body. When it gives the idea of beauty, how could, when each and individual part does not have that beauty, how come we have the idea of body being beautiful, as being beautiful when we look at the composite body? So the first part itself has this not attractive nature as an individual part. Hairs of the head. And then hairs of the body. And then nails, fingernails, toenails. We have to clean them all the time. If they are not given kind of attention, they become dirty and even disgust. So you constantly have to keep them clean. Otherwise it's very easy, not hard to see the unattractive nature. So you clean them, brush them, polish them. There is work to do to keep this body attractive. But naturally, originally, they are with that unattractive nature. And there are teeth as a constituent of this body. 2 rows of teeth. Again, they easily start to smell bad. We have to brush, keep clean, floss. If you tell anyone that you have a beautiful smile, it is because of that very teeth. But as a single, individual part, it is not that attractive. Attached to this body at the superficial level, one might see some beauty. Teeth. And the last part of the first group is skin. Different types. The idea of body being beautiful. So this skin has something to do with it. The pigmentation of the skin. But beauty is only skin deep, as the expression goes. And it is really true. This function as a cover of the body, enclosing a lot of parts, constituents of the body that are not looking attractive. And this is with a couple of layers: dermis, outer layer, epidermis. Any cut, any damage to skin will start to show some unpleasantness, bleeding, and the rottenness, having pus in wounds. The same skin that gives the impression of beauty, but it can turn upside down in a short period of time. So in this body there are hairs of head, hairs of the body, nails, teeth, and skin. All are constituents of my body, and when all of them taken individually, taken in isolation, they don't really give any impression of beauty. Now we are moving to the second group. Now we are piercing through our skin. So in this body there are muscles, fleshy muscles. You see it with your mind's eye. The fleshy muscles. As you go through each and every part, whether it's a solid part, whether it's a liquid. So you see that particular part in isolation and try to understand that there is no beauty that I can attribute to it. And this body is just a constellation, composition of all those parts. And next, in this body there are sinews, flexible, tough, fibrous tissues. Ligaments or tendons, binding the fleshy muscles to the bones, or binding or tying up two joints, the short sinews or little long sinews. And you see, when you look at them as a one single part, what kind of impression you have. Sinews. And then the bones, the skeletal bones, all together making the skeleton. The basic structure of our body. Skeletal bones. And then within the bones, bone marrow. So in this body there are fleshy muscles, sinews, bones and bone marrow. All are within my body. You reflect on that. And now we are moving to the third group. In this body there are kidneys, 2 kidneys, filtering liquids all the time. Which do a great job to keep us healthy. Very important organ in our body. One of the constituents that is also as an individual part with the unattractive nature. Then in this body there is heart, beating all the time, pumping blood all over the physical body. Very important organ, but again, with regard to its texture and look, smell when it is isolated, not giving any impression of beauty. Yet we say you have a beautiful heart, but not looking at this organ. It's because of one's virtues that are cultivated. And there is liver, one of the biggest organs in our body, like a powerhouse with regard to the nutrients being stored. To take care of our good health. Liver. And diaphragm. Tough, fibrous tissue which separates the chest cavity and abdominal area. Diaphragm. And spleen, an organ that has something to do with the production and removal of blood cells. Having direct connection with our immunity system because of that. Spleen. And the last one in the third group, lungs. two lungs contracting and expanding. And you see them as they are, not ascribing any unreal quality, just seeing its nature, and we all agree, not really beautiful. So we don't find any ground for statements like I am beautiful, they are beautiful. So to take root. Now let us move to the fourth group. That's the last group of the solid parts, and we will have another two groups on the liquids. So the fourth group out of 6 starts with, in this body there are intestines, large intestine and small intestine, through which all food we eat go being digested. Coiled up in the belly. Again, not giving any kind of impression of beauty of or attractiveness. And then there is mesentery, again a tissue binding or keeping the small intestine in place. Mesentery. And then stomach, like a sack. All food we eat going there first, getting mixed with all the acids, starting the process of digestion. And then feces, digested food, accumulating in the rectum, and the last solid part, the brain in the cavity of the skull. Very, very important organ. When it is taken as a one single constituent, again with unattractive nature. So in this body there are intestines, mesentery, stomach, feces, and brain. All are constituents of my body. Let us move to the fifth group, which are about liquids. In this body there is bile, a liquid released by the liver to assist with digesting the oil and fatty things we eat, bile. And no liquid in our body is going to be giving you the impression of beauty. There is phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, fat and fatty oils. So in this body there are bile, phlegm, pus, blood, sweat, and fat and fatty oils. All are in this body. And now we move to the last category. In this body there are tears, grease of the skin, saliva, nasal mucus, fluids of joints, and finally urine. All are constituents of my body. So those are the 32 body parts that we worked our mind through just to understand the fact that they are with unattractive nature, invariably, originally. But normally when they are put together and when this composite body is made out of those constituents, there is an impression of beauty. So our mind has this instinctive approach to body as being beautiful. Someone else's body and sometimes one's own body. So let us pierce through that illusion that we take our body or someone else's body as beautiful, as attractive, just looking at our own body, seeing its constituents as they really are. And understand there is no point that we give rise to sensual lust, especially sexual lust, which cause us a lot of trouble, problems, as we are in a pursuit of sensual pleasures driven by sexual lust. Sometimes a lot of suffering. When one understands that one should not look at a body with lustfully, so that reduces a lot of suffering from oneself. So last couple of minutes in our meditation, without guidance, you can go from head to toes and toes to head, and just look at your body as a whole. And see this body is subject to change, impermanent. So when you look at this body with thorough attention, you can't find any place that you should get attached to. Just spend some time reinforcing the idea that body being not attractive, therefore one should not give rise to sexual or sensual lust, depending on the physical beauty. And you will hear the gong when it is time to wind up the session. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. When you are ready, you can come out from your meditation and then stretch.